So hi friends, my name is Ratan. In this video we'll discuss about the JSP actions, standard actions. So in the JSP actions, mainly in this video concentration on JSP colon useBean tag. So to configure the bean class, so the next one is JSP colon setProperty tag to set the property to the bean, and we have the JSP colon getProperty tag. Total how many values are there here? Total 3 values. So JSP colon useBean tag and JSP colon setProperty and JSP colon getProperty. What is the main intention of this standard action, Ratan? The main intention of the standard actions, don't write the complete Java code inside the JSP. So I said one point here. So what is the JSP principle here? So the JSP is reducing Java code as much as possible in web application. What is the main intention of the JSP? JSP will reduce the Java code as much as possible in the web application, but scripting elements are writing the Java code inside the JSP. To eliminate the scripting element, we have the standard actions. What are the standard actions here? JSP colon useBean tag and setProperty and getProperty, these are the tags, right? So in the last video I completed include mechanism and forward mechanism. JSP colon include tag is completed. So I completed JSP colon include tag and I completed JSP colon forward tag. These tags are already completed. Now we will discuss about these 3 tags in this video. JSP colon useBean, setProperty and getProperty. Then what is the purpose of JSP colon useBean tag, Ratan? So to configure the bean class, so you know the bean class property, right? What is the bean class contains? The bean class contains class emp bean. The bean class contains private properties. What are private properties here? I declared private employee ID and I declared private employee name. So the bean class contains private properties to prevent accessing. So the bean class is only able to access. What the bean property behavior is, the bean class contains only private properties and public setter methods, setters and getter methods. Public setters and getters. Then how many properties are there in the bean class? We have to configure that many how many properties are there bean. So we have to write that many number of setter methods, that many number of getter methods. So bean class. The bean class contains private properties, public setters and getter methods. Okay, what is the purpose of setter methods, tell me? So you know that points, right? In the core Java, we discussed already the point. Setter methods are used to set the values and the getter methods are used to get the values from properties. These are reusable component. Anyone is able to set the data and anyone is able to get the data. I hope you understand, right? So bean class contains private properties, public setters and getters. Okay, public setters and getters. Setters are used to set the data and getters are used to get the data. Clear? So this is a bean class. Actually, to write the bean code inside the JSP, we are using scripting elements like a scriptlet, declarations, expressions, right? We are using that one here. But in that case, don't write these scripting elements and all inside the JSP file. To overcome that one, write the Java code emp bean class. Can you please configure that bean class into the JSP code? How to configure this bean class into JSP code, Ratan? By using the tag, predefined tag. The tag is called what? JSP colon useBean tag. So the JSP colon useBean tag, the main intention is what? It is used to configure your bean class into the JSP. Okay, I am writing the JSP. Here JSP file is there. I would like to configure this file into the JSP file. I written the Java code, emp bean class is there. It contains setters and getters and private properties. I would like to configure that code inside the JSP instead of writing the Java code. To configure that one, we are using JSP colon useBean tag. So general property regarding emp bean. To perform the serialization, generally your bean class implementing serializable interface. So you know serializable interface, right? In core Java, IO package I covered serializable. So to transfer the data between the 2 layers. To transfer the data between, for the transfer reasons, your employee bean class implements what? Serializable. When your class implements serializable, then only for this class you are able to transfer the data in between the 2 layers. That is called what? emp bean class. Ratan, how to configure the bean class, Ratan? So to configure the bean class, we have the tag. What is the tag name here? JSP colon useBean. So that JSP colon useBean tag syntax is the JSP colon, I am writing useBean tag. JSP colon useBean, we have to write the ID attribute. ID is nothing but, so JSP colon useBean reference variable, EB. employee bean reference variable. ID is nothing but what? useBean reference variable. For the employee bean, this is a reference variable. And we have the type. So what about type, Ratan? Type is nothing but what is the class name, you can say. So how the type is nothing but class name. What is the class name here? So emp bean dot class, right? We have to write emp bean dot class file. So emp bean contains ID, type, and we have the scope attribute also. What is the scope, Ratan? So we have to specify the bean scope. We have to specify the bean scope. So what is the bean scope, Ratan? We have the 4 scopes regarding bean. So the bean scopes are, one is the request scope. So the bean is applicable only for the request resource here. How many requests come from a particular page? The bean scope is up to a particular request. The request scope. The second one is a page scope. So request scope, page scope, and here the request and scope, session scope. The last one is a application scope. Total how many scopes are there here? The 4 scopes here: request scope, page scope, session scope, application scope. So the page scope is we can say private. The which one? The scope of this bean is only present page of this JSP. The scope of this page is page attribute is only the present JSP page. The default scope is the page scope only. This is called what? Default scope. The request scope is what? How many requests comes from the same browser window, same file. We have the request scope up to the particular request. Okay. So page scope means the present JSP file. So request scope means how many requests comes from the same browser. The section scope means, so here in that particular time duration, particular time section here, how many requests comes from the browser window, it is have the scopes like that. Session means particular time duration. Application means it is applicable for all the resources which is present in the web application. It is application scope is nothing but what? You can say public scope. So page scope means up to the present JSP. Request scope means how many requests comes from the same browser. Session scope means up to the particular time duration, session timeout like. So application scope means it is applicable for all the resources present in the JSP file. Application, web application. So you can say this is the public scope. And what is the default scope here? Up to the particular JSP file, the scope is there. So and here our type attribute is not a type attribute, you have the class attribute here. So JSP colon useBean, ID is a employee ID. So this is a, which data here? Employee ID equal to EB means what? This is the reference variable, class emp bean. The scope is which scope here? Request scope we have. And here the scope request and page, session and application. In the project level, it is always recommended is the session scope and application scope. Session scope means what? So you know, in the banking application, when we open the banking site, if you are not doing any operations in the 10 to 15 seconds, what happens? Session will be expired. In that session, so we have the 5 to 10 seconds. In that session, how many requests are there? For all the requests, this bean scope, it is providing the bean scope. Okay, so particular time duration, if you have the session scope, that all the resources they are using the session scope. Application means nothing. Application is what? The entire web application, how many resources are available, we can use all the resources in the application scope. So total how many requests, how many scope attributes are there? Request scope, page scope, session scope, application scope. But the default request type is what? Page scope. Like which attribute here? Page attribute. Like page scope, right? Scope attribute. Present JSP file. So this is information regarding what? The syntax of the JSP colon useBean tag. But then I want set the property. To set the property, JSP colon, the method name is called what? setProperty tag. setProperty tag. We have to use a property name. For example, property name, employee ID. I would like to set the property name, and property name means what? We have to use a reference variable. What is the reference variable here? EB. Okay, so property name is called what? EB, because I would like to set this property to the EB only, right? Property name. So set property equal, so property. What is the property here? Employee ID is my property. So concentrate here. Set JSP colon set property. For which bean I would like to set the property here? Employee bean. So how to configure the name is called what? Employee bean. Property is what? Employee ID. I would like to set the values, right? So here value equal to, so employee ID means I am setting the values 111. So this is my JSP colon set property tag syntax. So you can set property means name equal to EB, because so I would like to set the property to this EMP bean class, right? This is ID is the EB and property equal to employee ID. What is the property here? And employee ID property I would like to set the value. What is the value here? 111 is my value. There is a way how to set the property tag. The property tag contains how many attributes total? Name attribute to map the this properties belongs to this class. So EB means what? Employee bean class. And this property is saying this bean class. And what is the property name here? Employee ID. What is the property value? 111. So like that, you have to set the property tag. And we have the get property tag, right? The get property tag means JSP colon, we have the data here, get property. Get property, we have the property name. What is the property name here? EB. The property name means what? It is configuring mapping between the this get properties belong to this EMP bean class. To configure the like that, we have the get property EB. So JSP colon get property name equal to EB, and here we have to write the property name just with the property name equal to EB, property equal to what? EID. Close it. To set the data, we have extra attribute, value attribute, but to get the data, just property name is enough to get the data. So total how many attributes I explained here? 3 attributes. JSP colon useBean to configure the bean class. It contains ID and it contains scope. Total how many scopes are there? The scope is nothing but your public, private, protected, default modifiers there, right? As it is. Page scope, request scope, session scope, application scope. The project level frequent we are using either session scope or application scope. Request and page have the less scope, the less request, right? But the default request type is what? Which scope here? Page scope, we have the default request. The default scope is the page scope. I hope you understand, right? So this is a JSP colon useBean tag, set property and a get property. This is the employee bean class. So practically I will implement this entire example. So you can check the screen once. So you can check the data. So open the Eclipse ID. The Eclipse ID, close all. So I want to perform the employee data. So to create the new project here, click on new dynamic web project. So JSP app 9 module version, click on next. I want generate update XML file also, click on finish. So JSP app 9, so and web content folder. Let me create the file, log in the HTML file first. What is the HTML file here? So let me click on HTML file. So what the HTML file contains? Login like form.html file. Let me write like that. Form.html file. The HTML file contains employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Like write the employee name, employee ID, employee salary. Tell me what the first one here. So employee name. So employee name. So tell me. So input type equal to test. Name equal to within the double quotes uname. Employee name data like. So then control goes to next line. How is the break? So employee name, so like the total how many attributes you want. Employee ID, the first one better to write the ID. First ID is recommended. Next one is employee name. The last one is employee salary. 3 values. So input type equal to name. So here, so EID. Let me write the EID. Let me write the E name here. Next one is the employee salary. Total 3 attributes are written. So submit button here. So to write the submit button, so here input type equal to, so submit, so value equal to within the double quotes, let me write the login here slash control S. So here form tag, let me mention the form tag. Without form tag how to forward the request. Form method equal to, let me specify the post to provide the security, and action tag equal to what? So this is my main.jsp file I am writing. Main.jsp file. So let me close the form tag here. So form tag closing option. So clear, this is the form tag closing. Tell me it contains what the data here? Employee ID, employee name, employee details. Insert the title here. So employee, so employee details. This is my application. employee details application. So employee ID, employee name, employee salary, it contains the data like that. This is my form page. So let me write the proper bean class. To write the bean class, go to the Java resources, src. I want the class. What a class name here? Let me write the, so emp bean is my class name. So I want the main method is not required. Click on next. So emp bean class is generated. So let me declare the emp bean class. So it implements to support the serialization. So it has to implement the interface, or the interface it has to implement serializable, right? Serializable interface to support the serialization process. I want private properties, right? The bean class contains private properties. So private, so int employee ID. So next one is what? So private, so the string employee name, last one is what? So private string employee salary. I declared 3 values, right? Good. For the 3 values, let me generate the setters and getter methods. To generate the setter and getter methods, don't write all the setters and getters manually. We have the option is there to generate setters and getter methods. Right click on this one, source option is there. Source option, here generate the setters and getters. So when I click this, select all. I want all the file, right? Click on OK button. So insertion point it is asking. So here after employee salary, I would like to insert my data. Clear. Click on OK. Now here what happened here? For the setter method, set employee ID, get employee name, and set employee name, get employee salary. Good. Get employee ID, set employee ID, get employee name, set employee name. So get employee salary, set employee salary. I hope you understand, right? The setters and getter methods. So here setter method expecting parameter, because setter method means how to set the value. Here we are setting the values 111. This is a local type. We have to convert this local values to instance values. So this is the data is called what? This dot employee ID equal to employee ID means this is called conversion of, tell me, conversion of local to which variable here? Instance. Conversion of local to instance. I hope you understand, right? This is a conversion process here. This is employee bean class ready. Let me configure this bean class into the my file, JSP file. When I click the login button, which file is executed here? Main.jsp file will be executed. Let me go to the Java resources folder, not web content folder. New, I want JSP file. Which JSP file will be executed here? Main.jsp file will be executed. So %@page attribute, this is the JSP predefined code, right? The JSP code means predefined support. The predefined support in the form of how many jar files here? 2 jar files. What are the 2 jar files? Tell me. JSP-API.jar file and Sorlet-API.jar file. So we have to configure these 2 jar files. We have to configure the 2 jar files. How to configure the 2 jar files here? By using build path configurations, right? Let me do the build path. Build path, configure build path, add external jars. I want 2 jar files, Sorlet-API and JSP-API. Click on open button. Click on OK. Now problem is rectified. This is my main.jsp. So whatever the code you want, you can write the JSP code here. I hope you understand, right? This is my JSP code. So here let me configure the first. I would like to configure which class here? First of all, declare the properties type, right? Good. Tell me how to declare the property values here. How to declare the property? How to declare the variables tag here? So %! So %! values here. Let me declare the int employee ID. Tell me here string employee name. Next one is what? So double employee salary. Clear? We have the 3 values here: employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Like that, let me write the scriptlets to write the block of Java code. What the block of Java code? Get the requested details. Request dot get parameter of. Tell me here. Let me write the employee ID. So store the employee ID by using employee ID variable. So already I declared variable, right? So here directly you can assign that ID. So like that, you can please get the second data. So request dot, we have to use the get parameter tag. Request dot get parameter of, tell me. So employee ID, so employee name. So employee name, can please write the ename variable, right? So employee ID, employee name. The last one is the request dot get parameter of, tell me, request dot get parameter of what? Employee salary. Employee salary here. So can please store the salary also. So string employee salary. Total how many values I taken here? 3 values. Why it is saying error message? Type mismatch. Request dot get parameter of ename. So ename variable string double. Good. Actually, so request dot get parameter I declared integer type, right? But whatever the request dot get parameter we return, it is stored in the form of the string data. So let me convert the string into the integer format. So how to convert string into integer format here? So integer dot, how the method? So integer dot, the method name is called what? So parseInt, integer dot parseInt of. So you have to close the data like that. But the third one is what? Double format. But request dot get parameter return type is always string. Request dot get parameter return type is always string. So that's the reason you have to get that data here. So double format, conversion of double format, double dot what? So parse double of, double dot parse double of. So you can store the data like this. I hope you understand, right? Why I am converting means actually I declare the variable is in employee ID, but request dot get parameter returns which data here? Request dot get parameter returns which data? Only integer data. So request dot get parameters returns the string data, but it returns which one here? Employee ID in the form of the string integer. So integer means you have to convert the string into the integer format. Request dot get parameter double data, but you have to convert which format here? Double data, double dot pass double, like that. So clear? So here we are configuring the data. Let me configure the bean class. To configure the bean class, we have the JSP colon useBean tag. JSP colon useBean tag. So here JSP colon useBean tag. So let me write the slash. When we write the slash, it will go down. So EB, reference variable is the EB, and we have the class attribute. The class attribute, what the class name here? We have to write the fully qualified name. Bean class fully qualified name is package is the JSP app9 is the package name, EMP bean class, right? So write the EMP bean class, control space, it is asking first one EMP bean JSP app9, right? Fully qualified name. Class, and we have to specify the scope. Not mentioning any scope. By default scope it is specifying what? Page scope. Let me write the application scope. Let me write the request scope. Let me write the session scope. Okay, session just SC RE request, like control space, SC control space, AP control space. Let me write the application scope. By default scope is page scope. I mentioned my useBean tag, employee bean class, JSP, this is the class, and bean tag. Clear? I would like to set the properties. To set the properties, what the tag name tell me? So JSP colon set property tag, right? So where is the set property? Get property is there. This is called set property. Set property, property name. What is the property name? So reference variable, right? So EB is the property name. So what is the property here? For the employee ID, I would like to set the data. Tell me. So employee ID, I would like to set which value here? So value equal to, I would like to set the data. So concentrate in this case, I would like to set the value. Set the value means directly 111. But I taken this data from the key like form page, right? Request dot get parameter I stored in the triple right VID. Concentrate. JSP colon set property, property equal to employee ID here. EMP bean value equal to 111. Actually here 111 I don't hard code the data. I already taken the data from the cube form page. What is the form page data here? EMP ID is the form page data, right? Here let me let me substitute the variable. To place the variable here, so percentage equal to EID. When we write like this, what happened here? In that place, that value will be replaced. So like that, we have to configure total how many values here? Set property, set property, set property of. The second one is what? ename. The third one is the esal. Total 3 values. EB reference variable, EB reference variable. The next one is what? ename. The last one is the esal. I hope you understand, right? Actually value Ratan directly I am hard coding the value. Don't hard code the value. 111 Ratan salary is 10,000 like don't hard code the value. So instead of hard coding the value, I already taken those data from the form page. What is the form page data here? We taken the declare the 3 variables. We taken the complete data, right? Can you please substitute that values? How to substitute the value here? Like that you are substituting that values, right? Good. So any doubts regarding this one here? So get setting property ID. So how to get the properties? I would like to get the properties. So let me write the h5 tag to print the data properly. So h5, so printing employee details, right? So just when you print the employee details, good. So here let me say employee details. The employee details, let me print the data. How to print the data, tell me here. So employee name. So employee name means I would like to use the get property, right? So JSP colon, how to use the get property tag. Get property of property. Which property I want get here? Employee ID. From which bean I want to get the employee bean name is what? EB. I hope you understand, right? So EB, employee name, JSP colon get property, property equal to employee ID, name equal to EB. Next one is what? So employee name, employee. So first one is employee ID is better. First one is ID priority. The second one is what? Employee name. So employee name. So JSP colon get property. So employee ID, employee name. So how to set the bean to the EB only, right? Bean is nothing but EB data. Like employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. What is the employee salary here? So JSP colon get property tag, get property tab, eSal here. So the bean name is called what? EB only. Like that, how to get the data from EMP bean. Clear? This information regarding what? So we are configuring the bean class. We configured bean class. So we are getting the data from form page. We are getting the data request.get parameter, and we configured bean class, and we are setting the data to the bean class, and we are getting the data from I would like to get the data from the bean class. Clear? This information regarding what? Your bean class. So form.html. Let me launch the form.html first. Employee ID, employee name, employee salary. When I click the login.jsp, login file, main.jsp file is executed. In the main.jsp file, control goes to main.jsp. It is trying to load the EMP bean class. The bean class is available already. That bean class will be loaded. Scope is what? Application scope. What is scope attribute here? Application scope, right? Good. So we are setting the data. What are the data we taken from the form page? We are setting the data, right? After setting the data, then we are printing all the employee details by using get properties. So here we are using get property method and set property tags, right? So that is information regarding what? So your EMP bean class properties. So right click on project JSP app9. So run on server. Click on next JSP app9. Click on finish. Restart the server. You can restart, no problem. So JSP app9. So here can please launch the first file. For the file name here, login.html. Hey, come on, what happened? Okay, form.html, right? We mentioned form.html. So go to the here, can please write the form.html. So employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Here are the 3 data, right? So constantly, but here don't write the data like that. Don't access the form like this. We have to configure web.xml welcome file list configuration. Go to the JSP here, web content folder, and here web.inf folder, web.xml file. The web.xml file can please configure the form.html file, because it is not at all recommended process to call the first files manually. So always you have to configure the welcome file list. So how to configure welcome file? This is the process. JSP app9. So run on server. Click on next. JSP app9. Click on finish. Restart the server. You can restart, no problem. Now this is my file here. By default login page is displayed, right? Like format HTML file will be displayed here. No need to, it is when once you configure welcome file list, it is not showing the welcome file list name in the URL pattern also. See employee ID, I entered 111. See employee name, I entered Ratan. Employee salary, I entered 10,000. When I click the login file, so your control goes to main.jsp. In the main.jsp, it is getting the data. Okay, it is configuring the bean class. It's setting the properties. We are setter methods. We are getting the data, getter properties. The finally getter method data will be displayed here. Very good. Main.jsp code symbol expected. Read the error message carefully. Don't ignore the error summary. It's very, very important. So you can check the error once here. Line number 50, line number 17, column 50, code symbol expected. Main.jsp, line number 70. Employee ID, good. Actually, the problem is, so here this is a string data. Okay. Tell me, employee name in which format here? How to store the data in string format, right? Can please write this entire data into double quotes. Actually employee ID, employee name, you can directly assign the value, but employee name is a string data or not. So can please go back. So 111 in Ratan data, click on which button here, login. Code symbol is expected. Why is saying code symbol is expected? So everything is fine. So here, okay, what are the data we have? Everything how to mention within the double quotes, because the value within the double quotes, how to the string data, everything is string data. So how to mention everything is the double quotes. Concentrate, set property, it is getting the data. So employee ID, employee name, employee salary. So get the data by using get property tag. So within double quotes, you have to mention the quote symbol and all. Good. So you can please run the application now. What application name? JSP app. Run on server. Click on next. JSP 9. Click on finish. So the data is employee ID. So employee ID is 111. So employee name is Ratan. So employee salaries, I entered some 10,000. I entered 10,000. Click on login. So we'll get the data. Argument type is mismatch. Argument type is mismatch. Illegal argument exception. Argument type is mismatch means you have to think about the data which is having in the codes only the problem is there. Set property, property equal to employee ID, property employee name, employee salary, name equal to EB, value equals the same process, right? What is the problem in this? Come on. Value equal to double quotes. Let me check my code here. I have the material. In the material, let me check the code once. Value equal to percentile equal to employee ID, percentile equal to employee name, employee salary. So everything is same. Get property, property equal to employee ID, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Which can check these 3 lines of code as a problem. Let me check the 3 lines of code once. What is the difference in these 3 lines of code and the above 3 lines of code? employee name, employee ID, employee salary, employee name, employee ID, employee salary, EB, value equal to double quotes equal to employee name. Everything is common data only. Why it is showing error messages? Now can please run the application. Last time I click on project, run as, run on server, click on next, JSP app9, click on finish. So do one thing, let me restart the server once. Server, I click on server, stop the server once, JSP app1, so run as, run on server, click on next, JSP app9, click on finish. Concentrate. At a time it is not executing means there is no use. Sometimes you have to do mistakes also. That is a fine. So employee name Ratan, employee salary is I entered some 10,000, 1 lakh here. Anyhow, click on login button. So can please check the errors in server console here. For this servlet.service method is problem, servlet.jsp context throw exception, an exception occurred in the JSP file, main.jsp at line number 19. Argument mismatch exception. Now here we'll get in the exception here, but the reason can, let me check the illegal argument it is saying. Okay, let me check the EMP bean, at least the property name. If you're getting any problem, can please check the property names, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Good here, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Good. The employee salary is a string type, right? So we are declaring the double values here. That is a problem actually. So here return type is what? Double. So here also set the employee salary. So here the value is what? Double argument. Good. So we are doing any mistakes, so can please check the property types like employee name, employee ID, employee salaries, like property names. So once you are checking the properties name, main.jsp, this is everything is common. Value you have to write always within the say double quotes. That property attribute like that within double quotes, employee name, employee ID, employee salary. Can please run this application. I click on project, run as, run on server, click on next, JSP app1, click on finish. Restart server. Okay, can please restart it, no problem. Server is restarted. That form file is displayed, form page displayed. Employee ID 111. So employee name Ratan. So employee salary is what? 2020. So some data I printed. Click on login button. So we'll get one more exception. EMP bin get employee sal. So okay, good. So EMP bin get ESL. What is the problem? So servlet java extra servlet exception java.load and no such method error. EMP bean dot get employee salary. Get employee salary is problem. So double employee salary only. Get employee salary is the problem. Why? Get sal of double. So this is a double type employee salary. Come on, do one thing. Actually can reasonable all setters and getters. So double employee salary. So source generate setters and getters. So select all. So after employee salary, click on OK. We'll get all the setters and getter methods. So go to the application. So here click on login button. So now right click on project JSP app9. So run as, so run on server, click on next. So JSP app9, click on finish. Restart server. Okay, can please restart it. So here employee ID is 111. So employee name. So let me enter the employee name is Ratan. Employee salary is 10,000. Click on login button. Right, come on. Why you are getting this number of times? JSP app9 EMP get salary. No such method error. So now can please run the application here. So right click on project, so run as, run on server, click on next, JSP PP9, click on finish. So we'll get the data. Employee ID is at 111. So employee name is Ratan, employee salary some 10,000. On that, click on login button. So we'll get the data like this. So employee name, employee ID and employee salary 10,000.0. So nothing, format.html file, employee ID, employee name, employee salary, main.jsp file. So we configure the data, we are setting the properties and getting the properties, and EMP bean class, it contains setters and getter methods. So this is information about what your configuration of EMP bean object. So clear, this is the way how to work with the three properties here. So three tags I covered in this application. So what are three tags I covered here? So one is the JSP colon useBean tag to configure the bean class. So we covered JSP colon, so useBean tag to configure the bean class. The second file is what? So JSP colon setProperty to set the property to the bean, and we covered JSP colon getProperty. So JSP colon, we have the getProperty tag to get the property from the bean class. So this is the way how to work with the bean class object. So good, we'll meet in next video, we'll discuss some more. Thank you guys. So hi friends, my name is Ratan. So in this video we'll discuss about the JSP standard actions. In that standard actions, the last video we completed, so JSP colon, so useBean tag completed in the last video, and JSP colon set property is completed to set the property value here. JSP colon get property is completed. This is the last video completed, and the previous video JSP colon include action is completed, and JSP colon forward is completed. And next this video we will discuss about the JSP colon plugin tag. But what is the purpose of plugin tag here? The plugin tag main purpose is it is used to configure the applets inside the JSP. So it's a outdated concept obviously. So we are present application, we are not using any applets concept. JSP colon plugin tag, and we have the JSP colon fallback tag. The main purpose of fallback tag is what? If the JSP if the browser supports applets, then plugin tag configure the applet, then applet will be displayed. If the browser is not supporting applet, I would like to write some confirmation message, alternative messages. To write the alternative messages, you have to use what? Fallback tag. So clear. So plugin tag to configure the applet. If the browser is not supporting applet, I would like to print the alternative messages. To print the alternative messages, you have to go for what? Fallback tag. This is a fallback tag information. The next one is what? JSP colon params tag, and here JSP colon param tag. So in this video, we will discuss about these four elements. So tell me what the purpose of plugin tag here? The plugin tag main purpose is to configure the applet. If the applets are not supported, I have to print the alternative messages. To print the alternative messages, we have to use the fallback tag. So clear. Next one is the params tag. To give the input to the to give the input to the applet, we are using param tag. What about params tag, Ratan? I would like to use the multiple inputs. Param tag, param tag, param tag. I want three param tags. Write these three param tags inside the params tag. The params tags contains the group of parameter tags. So like that, so we will write the plugin tag, fallback tag, param tag and the params tag. And before configuring the applet, let me give the basic introduction regarding applet. What is the applet? Simple in the core Java, I given basic introduction regarding applet here. The applet is the applets are executed at the browser side. So in the core Java, the program execution starts from main method called by JVM, right? That is a concept. But in the applet, so coming to the applet don't expect any main method in the applet. The applet does not contain any main method. The applet contains life cycle methods. What are life cycle methods here? We have init method, we have start method to start the applet, stop method to stop the applet, and we have the paint method to display the data, and we have the destroy method. These are the applet life cycle methods. This is called what? Applet life cycle methods. What are the life cycle methods here? Init, start, stop, paint and destroy. These are life cycle methods. In these life cycle methods, are automatically executed by browser. I said the applets are executed browser side, right? So the browser is executing this applet. The browser knows init method, start method, stop method. The browser is able to execute the applet configurations. So what a conclusion finally I am saying, the core Java application, everything is program execution starts from main method called by JVM. But coming to the applet, Applet don't expect any main method. Applet does not contain any main method. Applet contains lifecycle methods. Those lifecycle methods are executed by browser window. Finally, the applets are executed at the browser side. Applets are executed at a browser side. Like that, you have to create the applet. So generally, to create the applet, take the normal Java class myApplet. So the normal Java class will become applet class when we extends what? Applet class. So this is the way how to extend applets. Class myApplet, it extends what? Applet. Ratan, I want to create the applet. If you want to create the applet, your class must extend which class here? Applet class. Then we have to write the methods, init method, start method, stop method. If we are not over any lifecycle methods, then what happened here? The parent class methods will be executed, which is having empty implementations. Clear? So this is the applet. So let me write the application regarding this applet. So then you're able to understand what is the plugin tag and fallback tag. This is all the information. Clear? So can please go to the application here. Go to the project, the Eclipse ID. So let me create the new project here. File menu, new. So dynamic web project. File menu, new. Dynamic web project. So JSP AVP10. Click on next. Next. I want web.xml file. Click on web.xml file. Click on finish. Let me create the applet first. How to create the applet here? So go to Java resources here. SRC folder, right click, new. I want here applet option is there. So others, you can go to the others. Okay, there is no others concept here. Just right click on SRC. So new, I want normal Java class. Your normal Java class. Super class, I want applet. Java dot applet dot. So applet is a super class. So here the class name is what? My applet class. Click on finish. Now this is your applet class. In the applet class, let me copy the data from my material. So you know the applet creation and all. This is applet data. Yeah. So here write the logo applet. This is applet data. So just I am overriding the paint method here. Good. Public class myApplet. Public. Good. Control S. So Control Shift O to import all the classes. The shortcut is what? Control Shift just O. So g.drawString, I would like to print the data here. So set font here. So get the message here. I declare string message, get parameter of message. Ratan, where is the message, Ratan? So in message, you have to write in the message attribute, like params attribute, Control S. Let me write the main.jsp file here. How to write the main.jsp here? Web content folder, new JSP file. So this is called what? Main.jsp file here. So click on finish button. So here the predefined support %@, right? So the predefined support here. Right click on project, build path, configure build path, add external jars, servlet-api.jar, JSP-api.jar. So you want 2 jar files, click on OK. Control S. This is the main.jsp. The main.jsp, let me configure the plugin tag. So plugin tag. So this is your plugin tag data. Control S. So concentrate, what is the JSP plugin tag? So code, what is the plugin tag code? Tell me here. Plugin tag code here. So myApplet, right? So myApplet, my ABP, myApplet. So we have the code base attribute. Code attribute is there. Code base. Good. So code base attribute, you have to give the applet class name here. So what is the package name here we mentioned here? JSP app10. Okay. So JSP app10 is a package name. Package name dot. So code base is also you have to do the same process. Code base also we have to give the complete full name of the like a class. So Control C and Control V, Control S. So this is the param tag, params tag. Under the params tag we have the parameter tag, right? Parameter name is called what? Message. Ratan Software Solutions. Go to the applet. In the applet I am getting the parameter, right? Parameter is called what? Message. No Ratan, the params tag contains multiple parameter tags. Let me write one more parameter tag. So assume this is my message 1, this is my message 2. So when we write this example like this, we will get some more clarity. So here my file is called what? Durga Software Solutions. Under the params tag I written how many parameters tag? 2 parameters tag, right? So JSP column plugin tag, code width and height. Clear? So in this case main applet.jsp, we have declared the message 1 attribute, like the total how many messages I want here? 2 messages, right? This is called message 2 attribute. So here string get parameter of message 1. In the same way, this is my called message 1 data. So like that, how to use what? Control C, Control V. This is my message 2 data, message 2. So here can please write the message 2. Clear? So let me draw the string here. Draw the string. Control C, Control V. So the here message 1 and message 2 data. So I hope you understand, right? The params tag and parameter tag. So this is assume. Let me write the 200. So here let me write the 100. Clear. This information regarding what? Set background, set foreground data. This is my applet. This is a way how to configure the applet inside the JSP file. Whenever the applet plugin tag is encountered, what happened here? That code will be loaded, the corresponding data will be printed here. One is Ratan Software Solutions, one is a Durga Software Solutions, right? So now can you please run this application? I click on project, run as, run on server, click on JSP app 110, click on finish. Restart the server, you can restart it. Then it is displaying the message. Then here can please use the data. What the data here? Main.jsp file, right? Main.jsp file. When we click the main.jsp file, it displays applet. So update the plugin. So it wants some plugin data here. Can please update the plugin, then we'll get the display the data. It is showing message. Do one thing, can you please copy this one is URL pattern to the browser window here. Control V. So click on enter button. What happened? Open the browser window. Control V main.jsp. This is not showing the metadata here. Open the Internet Explorer. The browser compatibility applets here obviously. Some browsers it supports the data, but some browser is not displaying the data properly. So do you want to allow the following program and publish or make the changes in the computer? Download the cancel. It is saying the blocked information. So click on yes. No, it is not showing the data anyhow. So right click on project, can please at least show me this. Let me reduce the width and height. So 100 and 100, just 100 and 100. Can please run this one once. Run the application. Next button. So JSP app 10. Click on finish. So this is the applet window actually. It's showing right. This is called applet window up to this one. But it is showing the message like refresh, print preview and block the content from the running this browser window, block the data. This is applet actually. Okay, so browser is running once. You can check there is a globe symbol. It is running. Let me wait to few seconds. So let me check whether the data is available or not. Anyhow, it's a purely automated concept. Don't concentration mode. If in your system the properly configuration will be done, then we will get the data properly. Anyhow, in my system, never shown this process. Let me wait few seconds. So the process is clear actually, the process, concentrate process here, the project level. Gone. Click on OK. Java applet. No, I don't want the applet message here. Okay. At least you can please run the applet. Click on OK. So we'll get the applet message at least. So you can check the data, applet data. Start the applet. Applet is not initialized. Why it is showing error message? Don't ignore the errors. So you can please max try to rectify the problems. Actually, we are getting the data from that main.jsp file, right? First, that is the reason it won't show any data. Actually, if I declare the messages in the same file, then we will get the data like this. But sorry, so we are getting the data from which file here? Main.jsp file. That is the reason it won't shows the where it is saying the null data. What is the null data? Where is the message 1? Where is the message 2? It is asking the message like that. So you can run this one here. So click next button, JSP app10, click on finish button. So in this file the message will be displayed. So you can check once in your system, it will be worked out. Just refresh, enter. Okay, in my system it is not displaying. If you want, you can observe the here. I specified 500 as a height width. Let me add the 500 height. Control S. So you can do the refresh this application. We'll get the browser window more. So you can check this one here. So in my system the browsers are not like the applets are not supporting. You can check in your machine. This is a way the process how to work with the plugin tags and all. JSP column params tag and parameter tag, my applet tag. So clear? This information regarding what? JSP column parameters tag. So we'll meet in next video. We'll discuss about the custom actions. So up to now we discussed about the standard actions are completed. So the final thing we'll discuss about the JSP final part. So JSP custom actions. Coming to the custom actions, so here, good. So so here we started JSP elements, directive scripting element JSP actions. The present version of JDBC is a 4.1. JSP is 2.2. So page directive. So I complete this almost all page directive to represent the present JSP characteristics. Is error page equal to buffer size, page equal to extend some. To include the target file into present JSP file, we have the tag lib include directive. Tag lib directive we will discuss regarding custom actions. So JSP scripting elements. The main intention of these JSP scripting elements for what the reason? To write the block of Java code inside the JSP. But what is the main intention of JSP? JSP is reduce the Java code as much as possible in the web application, right? So it is against to the Java principle, JSP principle. In that case, it is against to the JSP principle. In that case, what are the standard scripting elements? What are declarations to declare the variables, methods and all, scriptlets to write the block of Java code, expressions to print the data, comments to write the statements, here. JSP actions. The main intention of the JSP is reduce the Java code as much as possible in web application. But what is the custom actions are doing? What is the standard? What is the scripting element is doing? The scripting elements are providing the Java code inside the JSP, right? So to eliminate the scripting elements, we have the standard actions. In the standard actions, we complete all. So JSP colon, useBean tag, setProperty, getProperty, plugin tag, fallback, param tag is completed, include and forward is completed, JSP colon, declarations, expressions and scriptlets. This is not a great example. Actually, declaration means to declare the variables and all. Scriptlets means, what is the purpose of scriptlets here? To write the block of Java code. So like that. So you can check this code once. We'll get the data. Actually scripting elements and this ones both are same. JSP colon declaration. Actually this declaration we are doing the tags. Which tags? By using which tags we are declaring declaration here? Exclamatory symbol. So do one thing. Let me write this one into the new project here. Okay, Control C. So here Eclipse ID, the main.jsp file. So do one thing, JSP 11. So file new, I want dynamic web project, JSP app 11. So here module version 2. Next I want a bed XML file, click on finish. app 11. So web content folder, new, I want JSP file. The JSP file here, just I'm writing first.jsp. So here in the first.jsp, first build path the data, build path, configure build path, add external jars, servlet -api, jsp-api.jar files, click on OK. So now in this place, let me override this one. So this is called actually JSP declarations, JSP scriptlets, and JSP expression tag. Clear? So whatever the things we are using by the scripting elements, is alternative to the scripting elements, we are writing JSP standard actions also, but the standard actions also we are writing the Java code only, right? This approach is also not recommended. Directly you can run this file here, click on next, JSP app 11, click on finish. So we will get the data. So what is the data here? We are printing just today date. So it prints the today date value here. Today date is Wednesday, May 29, 25th, 9 o'clock 14 seconds. When we click the refresh button, what happened here? So JSP by default is on. What is the JSP behavior? The JSP behavior. So whenever we are doing the modification JSP, just refresh button is enough to reflect the changes, right? So this is a way. What are the standard actions we have? This is the information about all the standard actions. Clear? So I completed all the standard actions. What are the standard actions here? So useBean tag is completed, setProperty, getProperty is completed, plugin, fallback, params completed, include and forward is completed, declaration, expressions, and scriptlet is completed. I hope you understand, right? So this is my first.jsp. Declaration, scripting, script, these are standard actions, right? By using standard actions, I am writing this code. Next one is the scriptlet I am writing. Next one is the expression tag. I hope you understand, right? This information regarding what? Your JSP standard actions. So I'll meet in next video. So we will discuss about the JSP custom actions. So that is the final point regarding the JSP. So once the custom actions are completed, your JSP is over. Clear? So thank you guys. We'll meet in next video. We will continue more.